Virus. We've got your questions in a moment, but first, the Italian authorities have put a complete ban on all school trips leaving their country to try and avoid the spread of the virus.
But a language school in Bath got news that students due to be studying with them had been stopped as they were trying to board the plane in Rome on Sunday morning.
Mark Appleton, who runs the school in Bath, says the ban will have a huge effect on businesses in the area. Tracy Miller reports.
This empty classroom in a language school in Bath was expecting 100 students from Italy this week. They were all about to board their plane in Rome on Sunday morning when the authorities stopped all student travel leaving the country. So who you would have expected how many to be here, what age or how many?
In the age group 14 to 17, this week 105, next week about 130, those kinds of numbers for the next 4 or 5 weeks. March is the busiest month of the year for Italian secondary schools to do these study trips.
It's an attempt by the Italian authorities to stop the spread of the coronavirus. The ban could mean over 1,000 students cancelling their visit to Bath. This will impact on the coach companies, attractions, and of course lots of smaller businesses. This independent sandwich shop will lose over £1,000 a week.
It has impacted us a lot.
Will it be hundreds of pounds?
More than hundreds, maybe thousands a week. Yeah, it's so huge for us.
Well, Bath is an incredibly popular destination for Italian students, but now that all travel has been cancelled, the families that put the students up in their own homes will be affected.
Families can earn about £150 a week hosting a student, and many have had to be cancelled at the last minute.
Which means we won't need your host accommodation anymore. I'm really sorry about this. Some of them are from the sort of lower end income brackets and do rely on this income to top that up throughout the year. So as well as inviting students into their home and involving them in family life, a lot of them do count on that income.
The ban is until March the 15th, but as the virus continues to spread, it's likely to be even longer. Tracy Miller, BBC Points West, Bath.
Well, we've been asking you what questions you would like answered about the coronavirus, and we've got them here.
Yes, joining us to answer those questions once again is Dr. Bharat Pankhania, an expert in public health and disease prevention. I know you've been very busy, so thank you for coming in once again. So the emails that we have, first of all, from a lady who's called Lorraine Kelly. I don't think Telly's Lorraine Kelly, another one. We are 65, she's talking about her and her partner. One of us had a mini stroke 5 years ago. Does that make us vulnerable? I think generally, though, they are in good health.
Well, it's good of you, Lorraine, to write in. And my answer to people like Lorraine and many of our listeners is, look, this virus is not out there to get you, right? It's very important to know that most people who get ill and infected will also get better. There's only a few who may get very ill, and people who have coexisting conditions like diabetes, like the mini stroke you've said, it's not necessarily targeting you. All it is saying is you might have maybe a slightly more ill period than other people, but that's not always guaranteed either. It may just be as normal like with everybody else. It's just to be a little bit more cautious, that's all.
Okay, Marion writes, what can I do to protect myself in addition to hand hygiene, which she knows about, and trying to limit contact with people? Now, she's worried about she's actually cancelled her holiday to Mallorca in May.
Yeah. I'm so sorry that she has cancelled her holiday, because if the virus is not circulating in that particular country at that time, then it is no need to cancel, because we need to continue with life as normal as well. And the best advice you can get with respect to travel to any country is look at the government website. So Foreign and Commonwealth Office website, it gives you timely information about to go, not to go, and what to do.
Right.
And a lot of people are worried. Marion, you might want to talk about to your travel agent about rebooking them.
Yeah, well, also there's one about travelling to Tenerife from Martin, but I think he's particularly worried because he says, I've got chronic COPD, which of course is a respiratory illness, isn't it? Should I go, he's saying?
So again, chronic COPD, as you call it, is chronic obstructive airways disease. It is an affliction of the lungs, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't continue living your life as normal. It's the same as with the person with the mini stroke, the diabetes, the other. It is if you get ill, you might be ill for a little bit more. We just don't know the pattern of illness with this infectious virus. But I don't want people to say, I have got an affliction, therefore I'm going to put myself into my home and not go out. It is more important to say, I have an affliction, I'm going to try my very best. All of us are going to try our very best not to get infected.
Okay, we've had a lot of general questions on the subject of travel. Is it safe to go abroad? Is it safe to use public transport, even if we are vulnerable?
Well, in the United Kingdom right now, we're in the containment phase. In other words, we do not have the virus in free, uncontrolled circulation. And therefore, it ought to be business as normal. Schools do not need to close. And with respect to keeping yourself well, is that constant hand hygiene. You know, you wash your hands with warm water and then dry it. And then when you cannot wash your otherwise clean hands, you can use alcohol hand rub.
But isn't it best to overreact now rather than later, when now we've got a chance?
No, the important bit is to be informed. To be informed, to know what it is, what can happen and what you should do. Information is very good and very important. So there's no point right now, we haven't got the virus in free circulation, to suddenly say, I'm not going to go out, I'm only going to stay indoors. Because there is also harm from not going out, not exercising, not having the fresh air, not having the sunshine, etc. So stay informed, remember what to do and be prepared.
And get your information, of course, from good sources
Absolutely.
as well. Don't
Very
just
important.
Google it and believe everything you see.
You're very reassuring.
You are.
I could sit in your surgery for hours.
You're most welcome, both of you. You're very
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Really
Nice
good
to
chat
see you again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, people living